Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video of the Scryguystv. Today we're doing a comment requested video of Rowan Scion of War, $100, under $100. So let's get into it. If you guys don't know already, Rowan the Scion of War is 1 and Rakdos colors, legendary creature, human wizard. It has menace. When you tap it, spells you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So this one we're gonna be we're gonna try to go as fast as my optimized one is, but let's see what our RAM package is gonna be like. We're gonna go for some of the usual cards that we're gonna usually go for, but we have a little bit of caveats, added in there. We have Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, Arcane Signet, Rakdos Signet, Mind Stone. The ones that are going to be a little bit are just like a little one-offs are the Priest of Gix, Priest of Urbrask, Dark, and our rituals, Dark Ritual, Desperate Ritual, and Seething Song, which is if you've already tapped Rowan, are just going to be one red mana. Same with Priest of Gix and Priest of Urbrask. Now we do have a second part for our RAM package. RAM part 2, we have Talisman of Indulgence, Phyrexian Lens, and Mirror Converter, which all are going to ping us for our life, so we can go ahead and tap those and then tap Rowan afterwards. So they're acting almost like 2 to 3 mana rocks. It's like they're tapping for 2 to 3 mana. We also have Blood Celebrant, Emulating Soul Eater, and Deepwood Ghoul, and Wall of Blood, which aren't technically mana rocks, but they are mana rocks once Rowan is out, because each of these things are free pain, life pain situations. So you can go ahead and have Blood Celebrant do 1 black, and then use the black that it produces after paying the 1 life to just, I'm gonna pay 20 life, and then now all my red and black spells are gonna cost 20 less. I didn't have this in my optimized one as much. I know I have a couple instances of this. This one I feel like is gonna need a little bit more of them, so a little bit of redundancy is gonna be really good for this deck. And then we also have a Storm Killing Artist, which a lot of people don't. They're gonna tell me, hey, that's not ramp. It kind of is when you need it. You'll see once you get to play it that if you have Storm Killing Artist out, it is so good, guys. And then Simian Spirit Guide isn't exactly ramp also, but it'll get Rowan out a turn earlier, hopefully with any of our cards in the middle out already on the battlefield, to hopefully take advantage of everything. Gotta go fast. We have Rising Day and Hall of the Bandit Lord. Hall of the Bandit Lord is going to be probably one of the most expensive cards in the deck at around $7-8, but you pay 3 life and it gives Rowan haste, and so technically it acts like 4 mana for 1 land drop. And then Rising of the Day, it just gives all creatures haste, and then all your legendary creatures +2/+0, I believe. We have Swiftfoot Boots, Sting, the Glinting Dagger. Swiftfoot Boots is going to be good for hexproof, just in case you can bring out Rowan, and then you could equip her, so that way she's hopefully safe for the turn. I'm not going to say 100%, right? But Sting, the Glinting Dagger is great too, because it gives the creature haste. And then so you can, on main phase 1, tap her, go to combat, untaps, and then main phase 2, tap her again. So essentially you can go for 4 in the first half, 4 in the second half, or maybe you lose life after the initial first tap, and it's just gonna go even higher. And then we have Claim the Firstborn and Tentative Connections, which is going to give our commander haste pretty much. Tentative Connections is nice in here because it is only 1 mana, because Rowan herself has menace, so you can just go ahead and untap, tap her again, or maybe you take control of something else. But for it being 1 red mana is going to be great. Oh, that's where it is. These are the cards that we're going to be using to dig through our deck. Under $100, so there's a lot of cards out there like Vampiric Tutor and Demonic Tutor that are going to be too expensive to be playing in this, but Imperial Recruiter is going to be great to grab one of our Blood Celebrant type of effect creatures. Hoarding Broodlord for 5 and 3 black. When it enters the battlefield, you get to go ahead and tutor something, and then that card has Convoke, or any spells you have that you're gonna cast from exile have Convoke, and that's great too. And then Diabolic Revelation is pretty sweet. If you could at least lose around 6 life, you're gonna go ahead and tutor for 2 mana. You're gonna get 3 cards for free. This can pretty much just get you all the pieces that you're gonna need to end the game. And it's only $1. This card is not great. This card is only great in this deck, and only in a very situational spot where you've lost a substantial amount of life. I don't like that at all. These are gonna be this is gonna be our spot removal things, but they're also gonna double time as possible ramp, because Vendetta, Feed the Swarm, and Devour in the Shadows, you lose life when you use those spells. Fire Covenant is great to wipe the board of small creatures and then also paying life. And then Blasphemous Act, because it's Blasphemous Act. We have Chaos Warp to get rid of some pesky enchantments that we can't seem to get rid of, that have indestructible, or maybe artifacts that have indestructible. The One Ring. And then half of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, but a good amount of times they'll just flip into a land. And then we have Font of Agonies, which is going to be great in here, just because every time we lose life, it's going to put a counter on it. And so if you have your Blood Celebrant out, you're going to pay 20 and put 20 counters on this, and then now you can pay 2 mana to destroy, or you can pay 10 mana to destroy 5 creatures, or 4 creatures, sorry. Which isn't a bad rate, especially when you're doing it at instant speed. Alright, don't gas out. Sometimes gassing out is a huge problem for this deck, so you're going to run cards like Seize the Spoil, Big Score, Unexpected Windfall, which will not only draw you into cards, but it also give you some treasure just in case you're running out of your colored mana. Storm Crusader and Fire Exceeding Arena and Greed are going to be great, because Stormfist Crusader, I mean, it does give your opponent's card advantage, but then you do lose a life as well. So it's almost like you draw a card and then get a mana reduction of 1 for the whole turn. Same with Fire Exceeding Arena, that's just going to give you a card every turn and lose a life. And then Greed, just in case you need to lose a little bit more extra life and draw into a little bit more extra cards. So not too bad right there. We have Rowan's Grim Search, Blood Pact, and Read the Bones, and Night's Whisper, which is also draw effects and lose card effects. So these also act like mana reduction costs for your spells. So great rates for that, and especially for Rowan's Grim Search and Blood Pact, which are going to be instant speed. Time to win. Let's see if we can win. We got Peer into the Abyss and Scourge Familiar. Those 2 cards are great together, just because you're going to draw half your deck, and then if you need more colored mana, you can play Scourge Familiar for 1 black, assuming that you've tapped Rowan for at least 4 black, and then you can go ahead and pitch all the cards that you don't need for more black mana. Exsanguinate and Cut to Rivets. Cut to Rivets is pretty underrated in this one, just because not a lot of people see it as much. Exsanguinate, everyone's already seen it, but Cut to Getting Ribboned is not great, because then you can go ahead and pitch this to one of your red draw effects where you have to discard a card, and then you can go cast Ribbons and then kill everybody for however much life you've already paid into it. And then we have Aether Flux, Reservoir, and Past in Flames. Past in Flames is going to do its best budget imitation of Yawgmoth's Will, but you do have to, what's it called? I mean, with Yawgmoth's Will, you have to pay 2, but this one is also going to be doing the same thing. But the great thing about this is you could also cast it for its flashback cost. So if you have lost 3 to 4 mana life already, these are just going to be 1 mana red spells, and then you can go ahead and possibly run away with the game from there, especially if you have an Aether Flux Reservoir out onto the battlefield. And Past in Flames is a budget version of Yawgmoth's Will, because you can only cast instant sorceries. That's what I was looking for. See, we have some key lands in here. These are going to be really cheap pinging lands. Barbarian Ring, if near Deadlands, Cabal Pit, Ramanop Ruins, Sulphur Springs, and Spire of Industry are all going to ping you for 1 life. So these are going to act like almost like 2 lands that tap for 2. If Rowan is out. If Rowan is not out, you're just killing yourself. Which sucks. But yeah, this really, if you have like 1 or 2 of these out, if you have at least 2 to 3 of these out, your spells are gonna already be costing 3 to 4 or 2 to 3 less. So and these are all around the dollar range. I think Sulphurous Springs is gonna be the only one that's around $2.50, but the rest are $1.50. And then this is my maybe board. This is kind of like the mean cards I didn't want to put in here. This is if you really want to be mean to your table at a budget. Alright, we have these 2 cards here, Dream Devourer and Sire of Insanity. You need both of them on the board to work, but you go ahead and cast Dream Devourer. You have an abundance of mana that you can go ahead and foretell all of the cards that's in your hand, and then when you go to your main phase 2 or main phase 1, whatever you got to do, you slap down Sire of Insanity, and then hopefully nobody has an answer to it, because that means everyone discards their hand at the end step. And meanwhile, you have a whole bunch of cards that are foretold by Dream Devourer. Now, Dream Devourer doesn't have to stick around. Those cards are just exiled for their foretell cost. And then so you technically have a hand in exile that you can cast for later. So if you want to be extra mean to your table, if you want your table to really hate you, you go ahead and just play these 2, and you can get them with the, what's it called, the 5 mana Demonic Tutor. All right, hopefully this helps you. Dudu commented on my regular video. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Now make sure to check down below. We have our deck list down there if you want to see a full deck breakdown. These are some of just the key cards that I felt like that made the deck really work well together. And it's like a little bit, it's like 170 cents, so it's totally within like a budget. Hopefully I hit your budget, because you didn't answer when I asked, so just hopefully you see this and it's within your budget. All right guys, thank you. Oh, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.